You want to get into trading? Let me tell you the brutal truth, no one else will. Most people jump in, starry-eyed, thinking it's their ticket to financial freedom. They see the fancy cars, the luxury lifestyle, and think, I can do that. But they have no idea what they're truly walking into. Trading isn't like any job you've ever had or any subject you've studied in school. In a normal job, you work 8 hours, you get paid. School, you study hard, you pass the test. In trading, the rules are completely different. The risk isn't just about losing a bit of money. It's about losing everything, and it's far greater than any beginner can possibly imagine. Think about this. You can be right 9 out of 10 times. You can make a series of brilliant trades, feeling like you're on top of the world. Then, on that 10th trade, you make one tiny mistake. Maybe you get a little greedy, maybe you get scared and close too early, or maybe you just get careless. And in a single moment, all those wins, all that hard work can be wiped out. Gone. Just like that. The market doesn't care about your past successes. It punishes even a single emotional, impulsive, or sloppy decision with ruthless efficiency. It's a cruel teacher, and the lessons are expensive. So why do so many people fail? It usually comes down to a few major traps that almost every beginner falls into. First, there's the fantasy of getting rich quick. You hear stories of people turning a few $100s into millions, and you think you're next. This fantasy clouds your judgment and pushes you to take reckless risks. You're not trading, you're gambling, you're chasing a lottery ticket, and the market is more than happy to take your money. The second trap is the world of fake mentors and overpriced courses. When you're new and confused, you're desperate for guidance. And there are countless people out there ready to sell you the secret formula for thousands of dollars. They show you a few winning charts, promise you a 99% win rate, and sell you a dream. But what are you really buying? Usually it's just basic information you could find for free online, packaged up with a lot of hype. They make their money from selling courses, not from actual trading. And the third trap, the dark side of the industry. Untrustworthy brokers and hidden manipulation. You might think you're playing on a level field, but some brokers are actively working against you. They can have ridiculous spreads, insane slippage, and even manipulate the price feed to trigger your stop losses. You're fighting a battle, but your opponent might be the one hosting the game. It's a minefield out there, and if you're not careful, you'll get blown up before you even understand the rules. But the cost of trading isn't just measured in dollars and cents. That's what people miss. It takes so much more than just your money. It takes your peace of mind. You'll be staring at charts all day, your heart pounding with every tick of the price. You'll go to bed thinking about your open positions and wake up in the middle of the night to check your phone. It takes your time, hours and hours of staring at screens, trying to decipher the market's next move. It can strain your relationships. Your friends and family won't understand why you're so stressed, so distracted, so obsessed. And most importantly, it takes a massive toll on your mental stability. The emotional roller coaster of winning and losing is exhausting. This is the cycle most traders get stuck in. It starts with hope. You find a new strategy, a new indicator, a new guru. You think, this is it. This is the one that will finally work. You start trading. Maybe you get a few wins, and that hope soars. But then, inevitably, you hit a losing streak. The strategy fails, your account balance drops. Hope turns into disappointment, frustration, and even despair. You feel like a failure. But after a while, that little voice of hope whispers again, maybe I just need to learn more. So you go back out there, you find another shiny new strategy, and the cycle begins all over again. Hope, disappointment, renewed hope. You keep learning new things, but you never fix the real problem, which isn't the strategy. It's you. It's your mindset. And here's a dangerous twist. The moment you think you've finally figured it out, the moment you get a string of lucky wins and your confidence skyrockets, that is, when you are at your most vulnerable, you start to believe you've cracked the code. You feel invincible. You think you can't lose. This overconfidence is a deadly poison. It makes you break your rules. You start using bigger lot sizes. You stop using stop losses. You chase the market. You feel like a trading god. And that's exactly when the market will humble you in the most painful way possible, delivering a loss so big, it shakes you to your core. So with all this pain and struggle, why do people stay? Why do traders keep coming back for more punishment? It's not because it's easy, And it's not always because they still believe they'll get rich. For many, it's because they've invested too much to quit. They've invested too much time, too much money, too much emotion. It's the sunk cost fallacy. Quitting feels like admitting that all that sacrifice was for nothing. It feels like a personal failure, so they stay, clinging to that tiny sliver of hope that one day they'll finally make it all back and prove to themselves and everyone else that it was all worth it. But there is a path forward. True growth, real, lasting success in trading, doesn't come from finding the perfect strategy. It comes after deep pain. It happens after you've been knocked down so many times you've lost count. It happens when you've lost so much money that the pain is no longer just a number on a screen. It's a physical ache in your gut. You finally reach a point where you can no longer lie to yourself. Excuses, the blame, the get-rich-quick fantasies, they all crumble away. You are left with the raw, unfiltered truth of your own failures. And that, right there, is the beginning of your real education. This is the awakening phase. It's when you start to simplify everything. You get rid of the dozens of indicators cluttering your charts. You stop listening to the noise on social media, the expert predictions, the hype. You realize it's all a distraction. Instead, you focus on the absolute fundamentals, the core principles of the market. You look at price action. You identify key zones of support and resistance. You understand the overall trend. You master timing your entries and exits. You become obsessed with risk management, realizing that protecting your capital is the single most important job you have, and you learn the hardest skill of all: patience. The patience to wait for the perfect setup, and the patience to let your winning trades run. Ultimately, you come to understand the final, most important truth about trading. It was never a battle against the market. It was never about finding the holy grail indicator or outsmarting the big banks. The entire journey, from day one, has been a battle against yourself. It's a war against your own greed, your fear, your impatience, and your ego. The winners in this game aren't the ones with the most complex strategies. They are the ones who have mastered their own emotions. They accept that losing is a part of the game, and they take their losses gracefully, without emotion. They trade less, but they trade smarter. They understand that progress isn't about moving faster. It's about consistently moving in the right direction. Trading is a journey of self-discovery, and the prize at the end isn't just money, it's self-mastery. Thanks for watching. If this resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more real talk about the markets. See you in the next video.